Hello everyone and welcome to another Keeping It Real with Rob and Ning. Ning, we're back in the lovely Bay Area. And you know, this episode is really interesting. It's a highlight episode where we're going to be discussing and showing some past home runs that are relevant today and our topic, which is equity.
Right. And bakit po natin to ginagawa? Kasi we thought na importante, yun pong mga istorya ng ating mga kababayan, ma-relate natin dun sa mga kung ano yung nangyayari sa ating kapaligiran right now.
And right now, especially with what's going on in the economy, you know, you want to protect your equity. And maybe what we need to describe to our audience is what equity actually is.
That's correct. So, ano po ba ang equity? Ang equity po is kung ano yung loan balance natin sa property at kung ano yung current market value. And paano po natin malalaman yung current market value? You can go online, type in po yung inyong address and it will show up, Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com. It will give you an idea kung magkano yung value natin. And so, at that time, so kung ano po yung value na nakikita natin doon, minus yung ating utang, then yun po yung tinatawag natin na equity.
And that is different from appreciation.
Okay.
So appreciation is just where you purchase the property. The additional gain in value is appreciation. So your equity really, covers two things. One, your down payment, plus any gain that you've had in the market.
That's correct, Robert. And what's interesting is maraming mga tao ang nag-iisip na ang equity, pagka nakita nila that they have equity that day, they will think that that equity will be there anytime or, forever.
And also equity can be looked at and compared to kind of like the stock market. You buy a stock, it's easier to see because it moves more rapidly. It goes up and it goes down based on different economic conditions. And equity, even though it moves slower up and down, it still has the same effect. It goes up and down just like a stock.
And I think, marami po sa atin makakarelate. Back in 2007, 2008, nagkaroon po tayo ng depression sa real estate market. Kaya marami sa atin na mga homeowners naging upside down. Meaning, yun pong ating loan is tumaas kesa sa value ng property. During that time, bago po nagkaroon ng depression sa ating ekonomiya, I'm sure marami sa atin na merong equity. So, ibig sabihin, yung value is higher than the balance, pero because yun pong nangyaring depression sa economy, kaya naging baliktad. Yung utang natin mas tumaas kesa dun sa equity. Kung matatandaan niyo po, ang tawag natin dito is underwater properties.
So, the takeaway here is you want to protect your equity. You do not want to play games with it. And if you sense that equities are going down, you really need to take some action.
One of my favorite na success story po natin is yung kwento ng mag-asawang Dayto, kung saan nila ginamit yung kanilang equity para matulungan ang kanilang anak. Panoorin po natin.
Nataranta ang mag-asawang Richard at Magda nang biglang tumaas ang binabayaran nilang mortgage sa bahay buwan-buwan.
Initially, it went up from $2,400 to about $3,300 a month. So I decided to shop around to get it refinanced, with a payment of less than, $2,800 a month.
And now I said our budget will be cut. How are we going to do it?
My goal was to lower my mortgage payment to within my reach, which is about $2,700, $2,800 a month.
May nahanap siyang lender na umalok ng $2,900 na mortgage. Bagamat masakit pa rin ito sa bulsa, inisip ng padre de familia na tanggapin at lagdaan na ito. Ngunit, tutol si Mrs.
I says, look for another one.
We're still, open for somebody else that can offer a much lower monthly mortgage payment.
We're watching Double Nation with Rob and Ning, and then I keep on telling him, he says, why not one day call them and see, what they're gonna do for us. I keep on pushing and pushing. call her, call them, call them.
Nagdadalawang isip si Mister na bitawan pa ang alok ng kanyang lender kung hihingi ito ng tulong kina Rob at Ning.
There's always that hesitation about not being approved because of my credit score. I didn't think that I would be, even approved for any kind of loan at all. This could be the people that could help me out, lower my mortgage payment. And although, again, in the back of my head, will I qualify?
Pero nanaig pa rin ang kahilingan ni Mrs.
When I finally contacted Ning and Rob, they were so excited to help me in any way they can.
Nagawa ng paraan ni Rob at Ning na babaan ang mortgage payment. Pero may nasilip pa silang nakatagong kayamanan sa bahay ng mag-asawa. Kakayanin pala nilang umawas sa equity ng halagang $50,000.
Did you say that I can get $50,000, for this loan with the same, mortgage payment that I'm going to make? I said, yes, po. I was so overwhelmed.
That's a lot of money. I told him that, our daughter can use it.
Matagal na pala nilang pangarap na tulungan ang kanilang anak na magkaroon ng sariling bahay.
For them to be able to buy a house, it's been years that I've been trying to get them to do this.
I was really praying and praying. Oh, now I'm about to cry. Now I'm so happy that, they have their own house.
This is just
This
the
is what I'm
opportunity
dreaming
that we
of.
wanted
Yeah.
to, grab and run with it. It's really a godsend to be able to do that. Money is meant to be spent. And if I'm going to spend it for you guys, and that's a blessing. And that's always been our goal. A huge gratitude goes to Ning and Rob for all their help. A dream come true for us and especially for my daughter.
Thank you so much. And God bless you all the time.
Para sa akin, gusto ko meron din akong maiwan para sa kanila. Pero ang sabi nila, huwag na, baka pag-aawayan lang namin yan.
For over 15 years now, Rob and Ning have been helping people across the USA with their home, money, and retirement problems. The results can be life-changing. It's all about setting a goal, strategizing a plan, and doing it right. They're ready, they're reliable, they're real, and they can help in all 50 states. Call 888-860-9530 or visit their website.
Ning, I love the Dayto story, and what they're doing is they're taking advantage of their equity. They're not waiting on it. They're not waiting around. They want to help their kids.
Right.
And they took action.
Right. And it so happened na nakakuha na sila ng cash, nabayaran nila lahat yung kanilang credit card debt, bumaba pa yung kanilang payment. So it's just amazing and parang gift yun to change their daughter's life.
Yeah.
Would you imagine na ngayon po meron ng bahay, sariling bahay yung anak niya na meron na ring pamilya. And so it just, that equity will continue to pass on to, daughter's kids and so on and so forth. It's a very good use of equity.
That's right. And just real quick, if they waited around and thought about it,
That's
and,
true.
just took their time, they may not have that equity or as much
That's right.
to do what they had to do.
That's correct. And ito pong ating kasunod na istorya is ganito rin po. Ginamit nila yung kanilang equity in a very good way. And it really lowers their overall expense by thousands of dollars on a monthly
Riveras.
basis. And we're talking about Rivera. Panoorin po natin.
Sa dami ng mga gastusin, sadyang hindi nagkakasya ang kinikita ni Virgie buwan-buwan. Kaya naman pag ubos na ang cash, kaskas na lang ng kaskas.
Pag wala ng pera, kulang, gagamit ng credit card dito, credit card doon. Yung pension niya, pang bahay talaga yon. Pero yung nga, hindi na magkasya. Mahirapan na akong magbayad ng bills, parang hindi na sapat yung kinikita ko na pambayad. Talagang kapos.
Lumaki ng lumaki ang utang ng mag-asawa sa credit card. Naisip nilang magpatulong kina Rob and Ning.
So one time, nakita ko na sila sa TV, kinuha ko agad yung number. Noong nanood ako, ang tamang-tamang ang episode noon is yung mag-asawang nag-reverse mortgage. So yun, sabi ko, baka pwede ako dyan.
Marami pang ibang kinonsider sina Fidel at Virgie na solusyon. Refinancing? Perhaps tap the equity on their house? But how? Selling the house would definitely be the last resort.
What is the best? Kung hindi man ako sa reverse mortgage, refinance, pero whatever. What is the best to do? Kasi gusto kong makaahon sa mga utang ko. Na ayaw kong umalis dito sa bahay ko.
One thing is, lahat ng improvement dito by myself. Hindi ako nag-hire ng handyman, lahat ako. Sayang yung pagod ko kung hindi namin tikiran tong bahay.
This house, talagang malaking hirap namin dito, kaya gusto ko talagang ito na ang maging retirement home namin.
Nanghihinayang din ang mag-asawa kung sakaling baguhin ni na Rob and Ning ang kanilang mababang interest rate sa bahay.
Gusto kong humingi ng advice, what is the best to do?
Sa gitna ng lahat ng ito, todo suporta ang mga anak sa kanilang mga magulang.
Sabi nga yung dalawang anak namin, matatanda na kayo, sabi. Huwag na kayong mag-ipon kung may maiipon. Gusto nila yung mag-good time na lang kami.
Ako, para sa akin, gusto ko meron din akong maiwan para sa kanila. Pero ang sabi nila, huwag na, baka pag-aawayan lang namin yan. So, kung ano yung meron kayo, gamitin nyo.
At ang meron sila ay malaking equity sa bahay na pinakamamahal nila na ginamit naman sa pag-refinance sa tulong ni na Rob and Ning. Nabayaran lahat ng mga credit card debt at bumaba pa ang kanilang mortgage nang humigit kumulang sa 2,000 buwan-buwan.
Ito, Rob and Ning, maraming salamat talaga. Napakalaking tulong kasi napakalaki nang naisasave ko ngayon. Matapos ang talagang pag-refinance ng bahay talagang.
Gusto kong i-share ito sa mga kaibigan namin, katrabaho, mga kamag-anak. Proud ako sa naitulong nila sa amin.
Masarap ng matulog, masarap ng kumain.
I'm sure narinig niyo na po yung salitang debt settlement. Pero ano ba ang kaibahan ng debt settlement sa debt consolidation? Pag-usapan po natin yan. So sa debt settlement, ang ibig sabihin po nito ay binabayaran natin ng less yung ating utang. Kung halimbawa ang utang natin $500, we will pay it like mga $200 and that will be considered paid off. Ano po ba ang pros and cons ng debt settlement? Pag-usapan po muna natin yung cons. Ang cons is yun pong ating credit is shot, meaning bad credit tayo for the entire time na naka-debt settlement tayo hanggat hindi nasisettled lahat yun pong ating credit cards. And then, nasa repayment plan po tayo. And usually, ang plan is from 3 to 5 years. Meaning, every month, you need to pay. Nagsisave tayo ng pera para makapagbayad tayo doon sa ating mga settled accounts. And then, ang recovery po ng credit natin is after we paid off all those debts o pagka na-settled po natin lahat yung debt na yon. Only then na makaka-recover yung credit natin. Any debt forgiveness po, meron po yung tax consequence. So, ano po ba yung pros? Then, ang pros ng debt settlement is makakatipid tayo ng siguro mga 15 to 20%. Mapalad na kung makakatipid tayo ng 25%. But if you think about it, yung tagal na nandun tayo sa plan, sira ang credit natin, so that means hindi tayo pwedeng ma-qualify in any other debt. So what is debt consolidation? Ang debt consolidation po ay yung tinatawag na kino-consolidate natin o kino-combine natin lahat ng ating pagkakautang at nagiging isang debt na lang po siya. So how do you do that? Sometimes, yung pong ginawa ng mga Rivera na example natin, ni-refinance nila yung property, kumuha sila ng equity to pay off all their unsecured debt o yung credit card debt. Or you can go to a bank and apply for lump sum money para i-pay off yung inyong mga credit card debts para po isa na lang ang utang. So ano po yung pros ng debt consolidation? Isa lang po ang interest rate nun. Ibig sabihin, kung dun sa credit card natin, kung meron tayong 5 credit card, iba-iba yung interest rate nun. Sa ating debt consolidation, isang interest rate lang. And when we pay monthly, that's the fixed payment. Karamihan ng debt consolidation, it's a fixed payment and meron po silang term. So halimbawa, kung ang loan na nakuha natin is good for 5 years, then you have to pay all that balance in 5 years. Because as you pay monthly, binabayaran din natin yung principal. And ang credit po natin is protected. Meaning, pag pinay off natin lahat yung credit na yon, magbo-boost ang ating credit score. So, ibig sabihin, tataas. And that's why it's good. So, ano po yung cons? Ang cons, wala tayong discount dun sa mga debt natin. But, like what I said, ang debt consolidation po is very effective way para makatipid tayo doon sa mga interest ng ating credit card na kesa mag-sign tayo ng debt settlement, just do the debt consolidation. If you're a first-time home buyer, they can give you or they can loan you 10% down payment at yun po ay ipo-forgive if you live in that property for 5 years.
For over 15 years now, Rob and Ning have been helping people across the USA with their home, money, and retirement problems. The results can be life-changing. It's all about setting a goal, strategizing a plan, and doing it right. They're ready, they're reliable, they're real, and they can help in all 50 states. Call 888-860-9530 or visit their website.
Welcome back, everyone. Ning, this episode's been about equity, and actually we got some questions from our people about equity.
Let's hear it.
Maria Luisa of Peoria, Arizona wants to know, since interest rates are going up, how will that affect my equity?
Ning, everyone knows that rates are going up. It's everywhere, right? People that have been trying to refinance, people trying to purchase. Rates have gone from below 3%,
Right.
up over 5 to 6%.
Yes.
They taper back a little bit. But that's a great question. You know, does it affect equity?
Right. And sa amin pong palagay, it will affect the equity. Dahil po, usually, kapag ka po tumataas ang interest rate, ang talagang nagiging intention po ng pagtaas ng interest rate is to slow down our economy. Dahil po, meron tayong inflation. And so, therefore, mapapansin po natin na dumadami yung mga listings o yung mga binibentang property sa market because ang interest rate is tumataas, kaya medyo yung mga buyer is stay away from buying a property, right? And so, yun pong epekto ng yung tinatawag po nating supply and demand. And so, kumbaga, pagka po bumababa ang ating value ng property, then talagang apektado yung ating equity. And the reason why bumababa yung value ng bahay is kasi nga po, yung mga buyer, they don't want to buy property on this high interest rate.
The reason people are asking if it affects equity is because it doesn't happen right away. Rates have climbed, but yet the equity has not really started declining until just recently. So it's a lagging effect. So people hold off and hold off and hold off when they should have been making decisions, only to see that now it's starting.
So kung meron tayong nakikitang malaking equity sa property, use it, just like what the Dayto did and the Rivera. And then, yung interest rate, maybe it's high right now, but it will come down. Kasi when everything is going up, ang next na mangyayari po doon is it will go down. And so, by that time, if you were to buy today on a low price, pero high interest rate, by that time po na bumaba yung interest rate, all you have to do is refinance. But yung take advantage of yung inyo pong tax write-off, and all the, you know, the good things about being a homeowner, there's, you know, I think it's all good.
I agree, Ning. That's a good point. Let's go to the next question.
Mackie of Jersey City, New Jersey is asking, are there any good loan programs for first-time home buyers in this high-interest market?
Ning, that's a great question. And obviously, there are a lot of good programs for first-time home buyers, especially in this high-interest rate market, right? So obviously, we have FHA, but there's some other things that can be very attractive, you know, for the first-time home buyer.
Right. So you mentioned about FHA. Ano po ba yung FHA? FHA is a government program that they will allow you to put 3.5% down payment. In fact, ang regular conventional, they will allow you to put 3% down payment. So it's even lower, right? Kaya lang po, dun sa guidelines po, nagkakaiba-iba. Now, regarding what you're saying sa first-time home buyer, meron po tayong tinatawag na 10% equity builder type of program. Pero depende po sa bawat state. So not all the state has this type of program. And we're particularly discussing this dito po sa California. If you're a first-time home buyer, they can give you or they can loan you 10% down payment at yun po ay ipo-forgive if you live in that property for 5 years. Right? And so, bibigyan po nila kayo ng 10%, papahiramin kayo ng 10%, pero obviously meron po yung mga guidelines.
If you do qualify, and millions do, and it's multi-state, it's not every state, but it's multi-state, you can actually be earning 10% by living in your home.
Right.
Not only do you get amortization by paying your mortgage, but you're earning a forgiveness of that 10%.
Can I explain that a little bit? So, ang ibig sabihin po ni Robert, any down payment po na ilalagay natin sa property when we buy, that is equity. Ibig sabihin, kung 500,000 yung value ng bahay and you're putting down 50,000, so kung baga, pag nag-close yung transaction na yon, we will think na meron tayong 50,000 equity because that's the down payment that you put on the house. Yun pong 10% equity builder, would you imagine kung 500,000, 50,000, hindi nang galing sa atin yun, pinautang sa atin yun, and every year nababawasan yung utang natin hanggang sa ma-forgive yung total 50,000. So that means meron tayong libreng equity.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, if people would call and ask about that program, they'd be amazed because, you know, it's a great program because really you can go in with no money down, right, with that 10%, and over 5 years, like you said, on the $500,000 property, they would earn $50,000 by just living there for 5 years.
That's right. Rob, I really like the topic ng equity because, you know, as we talk to people every day, marami pong misconception about equity.
Yeah.
Na sabi nila, you know, oh, next year na ako magre-refinance since, you know, hindi pa ako ready or let me think about it. Pero ang hindi po natin alam, we have to monitor na mabuti kung ano yung nangyayari sa ating paligid kasi po it affects our equity big time. Any $10,000 na mawawala sa equity natin, that's a lot of money for us. That's why you have to involve yourself po kung ano yung nangyayari sa paligid para maprotektahan natin ang ating equity.
Yeah, those are some great lessons, Ning. And you know, if you have some questions about your equity, protecting it, or what to do with it, give us a call at 888-860-9530. Or you can visit us online.
Or go to our website po and schedule yourself for a free consultation with either Robert or Ning, or visit our Facebook page, Keeping It Real with Rob and Ning. Just letting you know po, nagbago po ang aming website. So ngayon po, ito na ay keepingitreal.pro.
That's right. And obviously, don't forget to join us again next week for another episode of Keeping It Real with Rob and Ning. Until then, bye.
QR code on your screen to ask about no upfront cost solar. Or text the keyword Rob and Ning to 888-807-1119.